guys, it's Michael again. I'm pretty excited right now, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you guys voted on it. I knew you would. I knew I can count on you. Rhythm Heaven DS! More officially known as simply just Rhythm Heaven, we'll continue to say Rhythm Heaven DS though, just in the interest of differentiating the game in the series. This is the second installment from the Rhythm Heaven team, and is actually the first one to be released officially worldwide. As the name suggests, this title was released for the Nintendo DS, and they gave it a, let's just say interesting little feature. This right here is my personal DS that I've owned for several years, as you can see by just like how it's in complete shambles. And this one didn't even start out as mine. This is actually my sister's before she stopped using it. And judging by how floppy and torn up it is, you can probably take a good guess what happened to mine. Anyways, so essentially what they have you do here is hold the DS sideways as if it was like a little booklet or whatever, and you have to interact with the screen on the right while looking at the screen on the left, or vice versa, depending on which one is your dominant hand. And I feel very confident in exclaiming the fact that this is about the weirdest thing that Rhythm Heaven as a franchise has ever made us do, like, ever. And I kind of love it because of it. Generally speaking though, when I'm playing with a handheld console, I like to look like I'm playing a console and not like I'm waiting a table at Outback Steakhouse. Would you like the bloomin' fried chicken with extra bloom sauce, or? I bought this game shortly after I completed Fever, and I was absolutely hooked. There were a few moments of pure brutality that I faced with this game. Don't get me wrong, I had fun, but some of these minigames really eat away at your sanity. Though most of that torment probably stemmed from my internal self-appointed obligation to achieve 100% completion for most of the games that I play. Despite that, I think this game is one of the star examples of what makes Rhythm Heaven such an ingenious and reputable IP in the hearts of, in my opinion, it's not nearly big enough fan base. If Rhythm Heaven Fever didn't exist, I can assure you with absolute certainty this would be my favorite game in the series. I hope that much was clear from my past videos about it. I would say go ahead and check them out, but judging by the very large amount of people who've requested me to do this game, I'm pretty sure you already have. Anyways, let's get down to brass tacks here. We got 77 songs, Christ! And we're organizing them into 4 categories, and if you've watched the other Rhythm Heaven videos that I've done, you'll no doubt be familiar with some of these. Main minigames, pretty self-explanatory. Sequels, the second version of those main minigames. Remixes, which are the ones that combine minigames. And all these other things, which is literally everything else. Bottom of the barrel stuff. And the rating system we're putting into place for this one will be Scurachos. Rhythm Heaven fans already know what's up. Like the other games, this game originated in Japan, so when they brought it over here, they made an English dub version, and that is the version that I am used to, so we're gonna be discussing that one, and I apologize deeply to all of you who are fans of the original Japanese version. The song's in-game audio cues and sound effects are gonna be taken into account when judging and rating these songs, by the way. Rhythm Heaven fans will know where I'm coming from with this. And you know I can't help but throw in my opinions on the mini games also. I mean, I'm a big fan, so. But don't worry, they're not gonna be taken into account when rating the songs. As always guys, try and remember, if you disagree with how I rate certain songs here, that is totally fine, because this is just my opinion after all. And try to keep in mind that I'm no music critic, I'm just some schmuck on YouTube sharing his opinion on video game music. Okay, with that being said, I think we've kept most of you guys waiting long enough already. Join me as we soundtrack dive into Rhythm Heaven DS. Let us skip past the title screen and game selection theme so we can jump right ahead into what really makes Rhythm Heaven DS so amazing. All the incredibly iconic minigames. Naturally, let's start with the first one, which is Built to Scale. That name would probably sound familiar to most of you Rhythm Heaven fans anyways, because this is one of the few recycled game concepts that the series dishes out. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think in my Rhythm Tengoku video, I vaguely mentioned that this one was my favorite Built to Scale. And reasonably so, I might add. This is just my opinion, of course, but I honestly stand by this is the superior version of Built to Scale. Music-wise, of course, the gameplay mechanics in Fever's version are just way too damn fun. The music for this version of Built to Scale feels a lot more developed than the other two. The one in Fever kind of loops around while the speed changes a lot, and the one in Tengoku, it really just has the melody repeating while a bridge occasionally pokes in there. This one feels like there's much more of a journey to it. The music starts at a smooth and even pace so the player has time to grasp the mechanics of the game, and so they learn how to correctly hit the do, re, mi, fa, so's. After that, it literally starts to rev up things, the speed starts increasing, and it's like, warm-up's over, buddy. Let me show you how we play ball here in Rhythm Heaven. It's a perfect fit as an introductory minigame because of how it eases the player into things, but it also keeps things interesting and challenging enough to let the player realize what to expect from the rest of the game as a whole. It also teaches you that visual cues aren't worth shit. You gotta play this game by the ears, boys. See, stuff like that is why I love this franchise so much, and I realize that it sounds more like I'm talking about the gameplay than the actual music, but to be honest, the two are virtually similar in every way. It's so perfectly tailored for this gameplay. The music fits so well with it. I think that this one earns a 4.4 out of 5 scurachos. And up next we have the fan favorite trio, the Chorus Kids. Now before I say anything about these guys, let me just give my thoughts and opinions on this song. To put it as concisely as I can, this song is a delight. The series has a propensity of making their songs upbeat and zany, but each individual title that's been released have these sort of outlier songs that are more calm and toned down. The tone of this one and the instrument choice are unparalleled to any of the other games of its nature. Bossa Nova comes a little bit close, but I think ultimately this one ends up taking the crown for me. A score as marvelous as this one could really only benefit from having added some angelic choir voices. So, with that being said, Chorus Kids, go ahead, let her rip. Let's talk about these guys for a moment, shall we? As I previously prefaced, these guys, these kids are beloved by the Rhythm Heaven community. And why the hell not? They're adorable as all hell. And their singing is better than I thought it would be. Jokes aside, I really do love the way these kids sing. It just fits so seamlessly to the silliness of this series. And I genuinely love to sing right along with them when I hear this song play. It's worth mentioning, by the way, that one of the members from the Clappy Trio from the Tengoku game actually makes a cameo here as the conductor for the Chorus Kids, and he's doing a really crappy job at it. If you're really gonna have me believe that this is all you have to do as a conductor, I would have been moonlighting as a conductor. Like, what age is it that you start learning to do nothing but stand and do this? Like, that's the age I would have started being a conductor. I think, honestly, he's probably just petty. I think he's just petty that the Chorus Kids beat him and his group as the famous trio in Rhythm Heaven, and so he's there like, oh, you think you can defeat us? You think you can just walk all over us as the best trio? Oh yeah, well, get a load of this. Clearly, just like several others, I love Glee Club, and it deserves all the attention it gets. But guys, give up on this delusional dream you all have of them being in Smash. It's just not gonna happen. Glee Club earns a 4.6 out of 5 scurachos. There is no easier way to put this, but I don't really care that much about Fillbots. It's got a close to decent theme to it and the premise is so-so, but I've really never in the entire time that I've heard this song had any strong opinions on it. I will say this though, if you had to grab me by the throat and force me to decide whether I hate the song or whether I like it, I'd probably be like, okay, bro, look, listen, it's just a song, relax. Then I'd be like, if that wasn't telling enough, I do think there is some fun to be had when listening to this song. The beat is something to consider. It does slap, and it's pretty consistent. And when singing along, I can't decide whether I like to follow along with the bass line or the primary melody. Because I could be here like, or I can be here like, both are pretty fun to do. And now that I'm saying all of this out loud, I'm realizing that my impulse to say that I don't care about this minigame that much really stems from me comparing it to the grander, much more engaging minigames in this collection. So knowing that now, I'll try to be as equitable as I can while still remaining to my true feelings on this song. I'll give it a 3.4 out of 5 scratchos. Does somebody want to explain to me why I love this song so much? Anybody? Anybody here? No? Michael, why don't you give it a shot? Oh, certainly. It's probably because you're insane. Okay, never mind. You're no help. Let's try and deduce this together, shall we? Thrilling is this love. That title is very ironic to the situation I'm in. Fan Club is probably one of the most replayable minigames in Rhythm Heaven, in great deal due to how much fun it is to play as a spectating monkey during a concert where there are cues for you to clap in different ways depending on what phrases are said. But an even greater deal to this wonderfully enticing tune. I feel a little odd about liking this song this much, but actually there's a fairly large amount of Rhythm Heaven fans that like this one too, probably even more than I do, which gives me so much comfort you wouldn't even believe. I mean, we should all get together in a big concert area, have somebody perform this song, and then we can all like reenact the monkey stuff together. What? What? That's already been done? Well, that's just fucking weird. You know, in all honesty though, I probably would be a bit too hyped during one of these concerts if I was attending them.
If only I could just conjure a spell, kabal, hocus, hocus, hocus. Then you and I would be together for all time, I suppose.
For real though, Fan Club is a lot of fun. It receives the attention that it deserves, and I feel a little less ashamed about loving it so much. 4.8 out of 5 scratchos. You know, I've never really gotten into ping pong in my life, but after being introduced to this frickin' gem, I know for a fact that I never will. Not because it looks difficult or anything, it's just that all I'll be thinking about is this song. I'll never make it through a single game. Mike. Mike. Hello? What are you dancing for? Serve the ball. Hello? Get a grip. Hello? Can you see me? What's going on? Forget this. I don't know what comes over me as soon as this song starts up. I'm almost just overcome with this untamable urge to dance along.
Alright, y'all, so here we got 9 plus 16. That's, bring that down, that's 25. Square root of 25, this is 5. So just...
There's so much energy to it. The rhythm is so intoxicating, it's just as much of a classic as it deserves to be, and it's amazing to me that something this exceptional could fall under so many people's radars. Why don't more people know about this freaking franchise? I digress though. Really, this song is an absolute class A banger, and it without a shadow of a doubt earns a 5 out of 5 scratchos. Come on, baby! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Are you serious with this freaking song, my guy? Holy smokes! I almost can't believe how much of a banger this song is. Like, what? Why is this song so good? It literally does not compute with my brain. The beat in this is ridiculous. Like, right off the rip, it's all... The gameplay is so perfect with it too. It's so malleable, so any number of awesome hit patterns can be done and it would sound amazing. It makes me want to go out into space and just freaking obliterate some aliens and some dance moves. Making me want to do the freaking samba and shit, dude. I cannot get over how good this song is. I'll tell you one thing for certain, it definitely gets a 5 out of 5 scratchos. Y'all better believe that shit. Stretch out those damn neck, boys. We got another iconic trio amidst us. How many is that now? Like 3, 4, maybe 500? The concept for this one fits right into the silliness of everything else. I love the backstory and the coaching bird with the cool shades. It's a wonderfully unique concept.
And let's not forget the music, of course. Oh my god, this is such a good track.
Some part of me wants to call this French genre music just because of the accordion sounding instrument that plays here. Another part is telling me that I'm wrong and that that instrument might not even be an accordion.
I only know so many instruments!
Whatever, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or right on this one.
The voice cues of the peck your beaks and the stretch out your necks really pull this whole song together. It's fine without them, but with them, it's way better.
Let's hit Bluebirds with a 4.7 out of 5 scorachos.
Okay, first and foremost, the drums / the beat already fires in the beginning, so you know I gotta knock it up a few points for that.
I don't know where the Rhythm Heaven team comes up with this stuff. 2 Moai head statues playing a vocal game of Monkey See, Monkey Do? Like, what? This is some creative stuff right here. I'm also inclined to up points on this one just because of the seagulls bopping out so appropriately to this track. It hits hard, my guys.
You know what my thing is with this minigame though, is that some of the verses have instruments which I couldn't really identify. I don't know if it's my inept knowledge of instruments altogether. Tell me what you guys think some of these instruments are. I of course have some of my own guesses. Now I did give this one a few extra points for a number of reasons, as you all saw, but my opinion of this song was already really high up there, so this one very easily was able to get a 5 out of 5 scorachos. Let's carry on. I know we're here to talk about the music and not the games, but can I just take a second to say, I know I'm playing this game right! I get so many freaking errors when I'm trying to get a perfect on this game, and I know that I'm getting it right, don't tell me otherwise!
Now, although it may not seem it, I do think this minigame is good. Not great, just good. I do like the concept, as I have with a number of the ones we've previously discussed. And the music, honestly, is also only just good to me. It's got a pretty alluring tune to it, and it passes the vibe check with flying colors. But I think that maybe this one just gets old the more and more you listen to it.
And if you're like a certain someone who failed to get a perfect rank on this several times, even though I knew my time was perfect, you son of a— Okay, nope, we're not doing that again. Let me just conclude with this. The minigame does almost everything well. The beat is great, the gameplay is certainly unique, and it meshes well together with the music. But in all honesty, I think that most of the other minigames succeed in doing what this one tries to do much greater. So with that being said, let's go with a 3.7 out of 5 scorachos for Love Lizards.
Here's a personal favorite of mine. Not sure if a lot of people really like this one or not, but my god, this one is just so tremendously catchy, and I to this day love it as much as I did the very first instance that I witnessed it.
I don't know if any of you have really noticed this, but a lot of these songs have a similar sound to them, this almost like samba vibe or something. I don't really know how to describe it.
This one in particular really embraces this style, and it really knew exactly what to do with this gameplay in order to make this minigame an absolute joy to play.
Tell me that while listening to this song, you don't tap your foot to the exact same points the farmer stomps on the ground. You can't, because you'd be lying.
I'm gonna give this sucker a 5 out of 5, because why the hell not? It's a bop, dude. Alright, now freeze frame is a bit of a tough one to pin down my feelings for. I don't know if I love it or hate it. Well, I definitely don't hate it. I just think the concept is pretty bland and the gameplay is pretty easy when you get right down to it. The music though? Aw man, I'd be damned if I say that electric guitar doesn't just win me the hell over.
See, my struggle more comes from deciding what my feelings are for the minigame as a whole. My feelings for the music, however, are much more blatant.
It's a good song to me. I really don't know why or how this one managed to get on my good side. It seems like one that I really wouldn't care too much about. But alas, I think Freeze Frame gets itself a fair score of 4 out of 5 Skurachos. No, it doesn't get a 5. Are you crazy? Oh, another love song with lyrics. How will this match up to Fan Club, I wonder?
You know what? It's pretty alright.
It's not as good as Fan Club, and I'm also a bit conflicted on whether it's natural for me to be into a song like this. But that conflict really only stems from my fear of how others might perceive me amongst figuring me out.
You told me dreams come true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll find out, baby, tonight. If I get close to you, this may seem silly to you.
Well, you have to die now.
I would analyze the lyrics, only I think the message is incredibly clear and it doesn't need an explanation.
It's a girl. She likes a guy. The end.
And besides, I'm ill-equipped to break down lyrics for any song really. But I'll say this much, the song earns a 4.6 out of 5 Skurachos. Is it a surprise to anyone that I think this song is freaking awesome? I mean, come on, be real now. Who the hell wouldn't love this banger of a song?
If you don't like the song, by the way, it's fine. Don't feel attacked. It's your opinion and I respect that. You frickin' nut.
First thing I gotta point out is the immense energy that this track has, as does the minigame. Golly, this has to be one of the more nightmarish levels to experience firsthand. Secondly, the way the music is orchestrated makes it sound almost like some kind of workout training music.
Except the amount of energy, endurance, and steroids that you would need to keep up with the pace of this song would be insane.
The theme for this one is great, very catchy, and of course the gameplay is matched with the music wonderfully. I'm gonna give Munchy Monk a freaking 5 out of 5 Skurachos, you already knows.
Oh yeah! Check it out!
And here, we got the duo from DJ School. Now to say that these two are popular in the Rhythm Heaven community would be an understatement. People consider both of these guys to be one of the major highlights of Rhythm Heaven DS. And yeah, honestly, I see why. This whole scenario of the DJ teacher teaching the DJ student, very charming concept.
But what really pulls this minigame together is DJ Yellow, or whatever his name is.
The voice lines of his Skurachos and Haze and just overall how much he genuinely seems to be enjoying himself, it just makes this minigame that much more enjoyable.
You just have to listen to this song with these two in attendance. It just doesn't work without them.
With every passing Skuracho, this song seems to just get better and better. It's so satisfying. One thing I really love about DJ Yellow is his movements.
When he goes, Brett, come on, and he does this little movement with his hands when he goes, Skuracho, and the hands go into the air and his eyes are entirely white, almost as if he's been slain by the dope beat.
It's a great one, incredibly memorable, and it earns a 4.5 out of 5 Skurachos.
No, I'm not gonna give them extra just for being the influence behind today's rating system. That's not how this works. Drummer Duel, hey! That's a clear sign of good things to come if I've ever seen one.
Yes, as I have mentioned a few times in the past, I have sort of an unsubtle love for the drums in mostly any form that they happen to take. So, am I gonna let my bias play a major part in ranking this one?
Yes! Thanks for having my back on that one, Thor. But for real though, I think this song is pretty damn good.
Apart from obvious and already established reasons, this song has a great utilization of the Monkey See, Monkey Do gameplay mechanic. It has this really enjoyable sped up section which I always look forward to. I will say though, there's a tiny drawback to having the gameplay audio play alongside with this music. That being that, you can barely hear the melody play.
In Remix 10, you can hear the melody a bit clearer. It goes doop, 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 doop. Mind you, I was only able to make that out by listening to Remix 10.
But besides that little nitpick, I have to say that Drummer Duel earns a 4.6 out of 5 Skurachos. You know, I actually forgot about the song for Love Lab. I guess it just washed over me after a while of not listening to it, but hey, I am surprised at how well this kinda held up. It starts off kind of weak. The whistles and the romantic / kinda lullaby-y tone wasn't really sending me positive reassurance upon my revisit.
But these group of guys coming in near the beginning, almost sounding like a acapella boy band, like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, they really start to pick things up. What does that say about me?
It really starts to come together beautifully near the end though. It sounds freaking beautiful, man.
Pretty alright song, I'll admit. I'll give this one a 4.3 out of 5 scudachos.
Okay, yeah, if Love Lab was able to slip out of my brain somehow, I don't have a hard time believing that this one did the same. Upon revisiting this one though, I have to ask myself why it slipped out. Cause gosh, this track is actually pretty freaking good.
Concept is a bit so-so, not that it matters much in this case, you all probably know that, I'm sure. The music honestly outmatches the gameplay by a large margin.
You know, I never realized how much of these gameplay mechanics are the exact same. I mean, this is Clappy Trio and Glee Club and quite a few others basically. But at the same time, it feels different. And I have to say that is really impressive how they were able to do that.
Again, I only noticed it after making myself sit down and write a video about it, and come on, let's be real. There isn't really that much leeway for rhythm games anyways. Oh wait, yes there is. They proved that in later installments. You know, I guess it just took some time for them to, you know, put some ideas down, experiment, and they were able to come up with some really dope concepts. You know, maybe it just takes some time. Why am I having this dialogue to myself? Splashdown earns a 4.5 out of 5 scudachos. Let's keep it going.
Big Rock Finish. This is one of the mini games that I was actually happiest to see make a comeback in Megamix. It sounds great with the updated sound quality and all that. But anyways, if somehow you don't already understand this mini game and how it works, let me elucidate. So there are 8 short tracks that play in a completely randomized order, all of which you have to execute an epic big finish. The timing and the pace constantly changes between each song, some being more difficult than the other. Since these are all short and they're all part of just the one minigame, I'm gonna do a quick short rating for all the individual Big Rock finishes A through H. Ready? Okay.
Big Rock Finish A, extremely catchy and fortunate enough to have its own extended version, which we will discuss another time. 4.8 out of 5. Big Rock Finish B, I detect a little jazz in this one, which you all know I love. Another 4.8 out of 5. Big Rock Finish C, incredibly amazing drum solo right at the beginning and also incredibly fast. This song has the most beats per minute of literally any song in Rhythm Heaven. Not really surprising seeing as how it's 6 seconds long. 4.7 out of 5. Big Rock Finish D, probably the weakest one of all of these. It's just not as memorable as the other ones, but it's still alright. 4 out of 5. Big Rock Finish E, I love the way this one sounds. It almost kind of deserves an extended cut of itself. 4.9 out of 5. Big Rock Finish F, this one kind of sounds nice, but it pales in comparison to the others. 4.5 out of 5. Big Rock Finish G, I like how hard they go with the keyboard on this one, and the beat feels like it's trying to throw you in for a loop. 4.5 out of 5 for this one as well. And finally, Big Rock Finish H. The intro on this one freaking kills me. I would love to hear an extended cut of this one. This is definitely my favorite of the bunch. 5 out of 5. And as far as the minigame as a whole goes, I'm gonna give it a 4.8 out of 5 scudachos. This one's really great.
I used to be super obsessed with Dog Ninja early on. I played it non-stop. The music was a delight. Chopping the fruits and veggies in sync with the music was just my ultimate endorphins generator. Now, several years later, I think I love it just as much as I love any of these other games.
The music more than anything still gives me a feeling of intense joy. It is unreal how incredibly well this track is done.
Probably my favorite part is when he chops the frying pan in half. The music like quiets down for it too, which makes it even better.
Damn, what kind of knives are those? I can barely cut a tomato with the knives that I use.
I love this minigame a lot, and the music is just goddamn wonderful. Let's give this one a 4.9 out of 5 scudachos.
Oh my god, dude, this game is like an iconic household. I mean, the amount of mini games here that have like just defined the series, it's astonishing. I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest at some point, you know, just, let's keep going.
Look guys, you can say what you want about English dubs, but wow, this song was dubbed incredibly well. The uniqueness of that Blue Frog's voice, I don't know if he's got a name or not, it's so awesome. And it's not just him. Okay, it's mostly him. But the other frogs sound great too though.
I love that they make you tap to the beat here. It's such a great choice, especially for a song so entrancing.
The 80s genre they go for here, they match it to a T. And it makes me want to be in an 80s diner dancing with a bunch of other people. You know, like they do in the movies, that whole thing.
Come on, let's dance. You know it's only rock and roll. Boys and girls, let's see you really shake it up now. Hey, come on.
Frog Hop, man. It's genius, it's memorable, and a buttload of fun. Let's go with another 4.9 out of 5 Scorachos. My oh my do I have a lot of fun with this minigame. It has an unusually enjoyable utilization of the tap and flick gameplay function. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about mastering soccer ball kicking for the sole purpose of replicating this whole scenario. I want to be a part of the crew, man! The one thing this minigame definitely nails music-wise is the hook of the main melody. I swear, this song is incredibly catchy. I would be unremittingly humming it to myself days on end.
And once again, they made the wise decision to make the player tap to the beat. If there's anything I learned while playing these games is that making them so that you have to tap to the beat really helps improve your rhythm skill, at least a little bit.
I'm gonna say this one earns a 4.6 out of 5 Scorachos.
Oh, sweet mother of God, Lockstep. Lockstep, Lockstep, Lockstep. You.
Let me put this simply. I'm sure I'm not the first person to have struggled so intensely with this minigame, and I definitely won't be the last. I mean, purely the idea of this one sounds challenging enough. Essentially, the goal of this minigame is to swap between the on-beat and the off-beat. If you don't know what those are, I would advise you search it up because I couldn't begin to know how to describe it.
The best way that I can put it is it's the non-major beats in a piece of music. Basically, the part of the song you wouldn't be tapping your foot to because it's not accented or focused on, really. So when I go like, it's that part of it, not the part of me hitting my hand, but the part that is in between it. So like, Hopefully that made some lick of sense to you guys.
This gameplay mechanic gives the beat a very unique, some might even say bizarre sound to it, which would make total sense. I mean, the damn thing is changing mid-song a considerable amount of times. The melody pulls it all together fairly well though, I would say. And the vocal cues from the disembodied voice helps make the swapping of the beat feel much less jarring and awkward.
This minigame overall is great. It's visually striking, it's reasonably challenging to a certain extent, and above all else, the music is great. I give Lockstep a 4.5 out of 5 Scorachos.
Rockers doesn't appear to be the type of minigame that would make any sort of impact, but as the creators of this game constantly lead you to believe, looks can be deceiving. Rockers not only has a really great song, and one that hits highs and lows like any great song should, but the simple mechanic of the monkey see monkey do this game has well established has never been implemented better than these two characters.
The reason I know this is because of the extra content they added in the game. I think it's called Guitar Lessons. It's where you can play as these guys again, but instead you're playing the songs from the other mini games, and it is oodles of fun. I mean, you get to play like full-ass concerts and everything. That last verse is what really makes the song for me too. It just goes goosebumps all over.
I have to hand it to the Rhythm Heaven team. They freaking knew that this gameplay style was going to be a major high point in this game. Just judging by the way they extended their appearance to a whole extra section. I love this one. Let's give it a 4.8 out of 5 Scorachos. Karate Joe strikes into action with another great minigame. This is his first reappearance ever after having a pretty good start in Tengoku, which makes me wonder, why did the Rhythm Heaven team decide to make Karate Joe such a pivotal character in the franchise? Was it the gameplay mechanics of punching the pots that they wanted to expand upon? Or was it Karate Joe and his general suave and dashing good looks that they couldn't help but bring back into the scene?
No one will ever know for sure. Anyway, similarly to his minigame in Tengoku, there's lyrics included in this one, and they don't have what sounds like a prepubescent girl singing this time around. Instead, they have, again, what sounds like a full-grown woman. Now, how does this woman's voice stack up to the previous singer? Well...
Rain falls on me, and now I'm walking away. Tell me, do you find me more beautiful now? I'm not the kind to let you watch as I cry. So I got to leave, I got to forget you. And so I hide myself away from the world. Leave behind the sorrow of a sad little girl. I thought that I could finally win at the game. You told me it just was my fault. Suppose that I was too young.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
This minigame really brought Karate Man to a whole new level. The music is way better and they really topped it off with the new kicking mechanic. It's just generally a huge improvement. 4.9 out of 5 Scorachos. And that'll do it for the minigames category. Let's move on to the sequels and see if they're better or worse than their predecessors. Alright, sequels time, baby! Let's start with Built to Scale 2. Now this one will be pretty straightforward. It's a lot like the first one, but the difficulty amps up and we do have a lot more do-re-mis just being tremendously cruel with their constantly changing pace.
Not to mention the fake out, which is even more impossible to see this time around. Look, you see that you need like half a second of reaction time for that. What are you freaking out your goddamn mind, dude?
The heightened pace of everything adds a bit of intensity to the song overall, where the first one only really had that going for its second half. The two of them are pretty much carbon copies despite that. Let's not spend that much time with this one, it gets the same as the first. 4.4 out of 5 Scorachos. We got ourselves another rendition of Love Ooh Ooh Paradise, Western style this time. Okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Honestly, the song does benefit a little from the change. I don't know what it is about that new instrumental, and the beat is oddly satisfying, even if it is just that little that they added in.
And to be frank, all the backing for this song feels much more enlivened. Everything, even the Dazzles, just seem more jovial this time around. And it makes me feel great listening to it.
I can see you tonight. My dreams might come true.
Oh, by the way, this one's 4.7 out of 5 Scorachos. Man, you know they had to give these suckers a sequel. Let's go for a round 2, boys.
The first thing to take into account with this one is the speed is a little faster. A little tough to keep up with actually when playing. Nothing I'm not used to already though. Second, they just pump up that 80s feel so much more here.
You know, I'm saying 80s vibe very passively as if I know what I'm talking. I really don't. This could be 70s or 60s and I have no idea. No, but you know, whatever it is, they kill it here. And dude, do I even need to mention the saxophone? Swapping out the frog's singing voice for that was a wise decision. Not because the frog's voice was, you know, as bad in any way. It was just a welcome inclusion overall. Oh my god, dude, in that part with the keyboard or piano or whatever it is, it sounds so badass.
This one is almost magical, man. No, you know what? Scratch that. It is magical and plenty worth a 5 out of 5 Scorachos. I cannot deny it.
Whoa, okay. Fame skyrocketed for whatever this girl's name is. That production budget took a drastic increase.
At first, I really didn't know quite how to feel about the new and updated rendition to Thrilling Is This Love. I don't know, it bordered on try hard. I wasn't quite sure that I was really feeling it. But then...
Hey now, sing it to me. That's right, I'm talking to you. I hope that this message finds you feeling ever so wonderful. I just can't hold it back anymore. Yeah, love you, love you, love you. If only we could stay just like this. You are so wonderful.
This new extended cut of the song won me over pretty easily. I mean, I already liked the first one, but I do realize how short it is in actuality, and I'm just so glad that they expanded the length here and gave it this grand concert vibe. The new lyrics in the second half, I know it makes little sense, but it just seriously hypes me up. No doubt in my mind that Fan Club 2 definitely earns a 5 out of 5 scratchos. It is incredible.
Rhythm Rally 2. Okay, when I was first experiencing this one, I could not for the life of me get enough of these two in the whole ping pong gameplay.
Something about this minigame just spoke to me, and I was always hitting the replay button on not only this one, but the first version as well. Maybe even more so. And all this time later, I would say that I probably played it a little too much. Too much to the point of it doesn't really excite me as much to play it anymore. And I'm gonna take the blame for this one. Of course, it is my fault in the end of the day.
Despite that though, I still think this is a great minigame, definitely one of the best in the entire series. I don't know what it is about the music though, I just never really found it to be that great. The first one just cooked things up while this one just kind of fell short in comparison.
That being said, it goes well with the gameplay and is without a doubt a perfect fit for this minigame. I couldn't imagine any other song taking its place. It's just that I never really looked at it as one of the great songs in Rhythm Heaven. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 scratchos. Sorry in advance to any of you who adore this one. Yep, this didn't get any better the second time around.
In fact, it actually got worse. The song lasts longer this time and it has more awkward sounding verses shoved in.
There are some points where I think I might start liking it, but in the end, I really am just kidding myself. I really don't know why this minigame turns me off so much. It just does.
And the damn thing just feels like it's never going to end. Stop. And just end. Oh my god. Okay, if any of you out there are real big fans of this one, apologies. Not that I think there's many of you out there anyways, but please watch as I unreluctantly give your favorite minigame a 3.2 out of 5 scratchos.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this minigame is great. So the Bluebirds come back, as was promised in the other minigame, and Shades up here really got these boys working down to the bone. And the flashbacks to their training or whatever that's supposed to be, like memories or some type of mental episode that they're all having simultaneously, whatever it is, it really adds a whole lot to the experience. The way it pops up in time with the music during the very last climactic part during the end, the music really is given a great improvement. The pace increase was greatly welcome and the length of it increased as well. Again, a very welcome change, unless you're Fillbots. And overall, the intensity and energy that's brought into this version is such a vast improvement from the first. I'm gonna give it a 4.8 out of 5. I know that isn't a great leap from what I gave the first one, but it's what I think it deserves.
Stretch out your neck. 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 Stretch out your neck.
If there's anything I love most about this one than the first, is that incredibly awesome opening. My god, it just sounds so epic!
Once that's over though, we're left with what's essentially just a slowed down version of the original, which I do like, so I do like this one too, but just a slight bit less.
I want to say I like the first one more, but in reality, I like both of them about the same. The intro is just good enough to keep this one from falling below its original version. So let's give Lockstep 2 a 4.5 out of 5 scratchos. I'm actually really content we get to see these Moai heads again. Now the sequel is a pretty close copy of the first. It just amps things up towards the end and does the complete opposite and slows down to close things off.
What? Don't question it, Mike. Remember, it's rhythm heaven.
But as I said before, the song for this one is phenomenal. The patterns in this version make for some pretty satisfying sounding moments.
And as enjoyable as this is to listen to, the enjoyability kind of dwindles down a little bit when you're doing a perfect run of this and you're on your 20,000th attempt and you swear to God that you're doing it right. But this thing says otherwise. The P on the top left corner keeps dying and dying and dying, and you keep going over and over again. You motherfucker, I'm doing it right!
Overall, still an immensely gratifying experience. I will still enjoy playing this overly frustrating sequel, long as this wonderful musical track continues to back it. 5 out of 5 scorachos.
Hit 3.
For some odd reason, the playlist where I listen to the music-only versions of these songs leaves out certain tracks, including this one, so I haven't been exposed to Karate Man 2 all that much. As far as sequels to Karate Man minigames go, this is sandwiched in between the best and the worst that exist in the whole series, maybe even a little towards the worst section.
And I'm saying worse when I really do mean less good. It's really nice to listen to. In comparison to the first, I really like the melancholic feel of the first one. It just matches better with the lyrics and the overall message of the song.
And the first one overall is just more pleasant to listen to. This one is still pretty fun to jam out to once in a while though. I think that some changes it makes are pretty dope. Whenever that electric keyboard starts to chime in, I start to feel this song a little bit. They did the best they could with this one, and in the end, it doesn't fall short on rating, but it can't compare to its predecessor, so 4.4 out of 5 scorachos. Glee Club 2. This one kind of went in an interesting direction. The original was already in the realm of relaxation in comparison to most of the minigames in this list. They decided to go even more relaxed and give this one a tranquil Hawaiian getaway vibe.
More than anything else, the look of this one is just so much better than the first. I mean, the palm trees, the ocean, the sunset reflecting off of it, it looks so great. And the color scheme that these guys have, it's just excellence.
The music, while certainly not as good as the first, still warrants a listen. And although I don't put it on as often as I do the others, I still can't help but get lost in the tranquility that this one offers. 4.1 out of 5 scorachos. Okay, first off, this song, much better than the original. Secondly, who in the musical production group for this game decided that the Western theme should be utilized so often? Because whoever it is, I hope they got a raise. Thirdly, I can't count the amount of times I would replay this song in my head consistently. Hell, it'd get to the point where I'd audibly start humming it to myself and people in my vicinity would start humming along to it as well. I would hum it that frequently.
I don't know what it is about this one that works so much better than the first, but let me just try and come to some understanding.
Number one culprit is the beat. That intro already is much more enthralling than the first. They even bring it back once more later. That little that kills. Another thing is the prolonging of the ending where the original kind of stops. God, I can sing that part all day. It's so catchy.
The kick, high, kick, hose work smooth as heck here, and I love the ending where they sneak in that one little last kick right before the entire thing wraps up. It's just so satisfying. Let's give Space Soccer 2 a 4.8 out of 5 Skodachos. Very well deserved. I'm so glad they brought this one back.
Now they amp things up a bit on this one. The aliens come at a much more rapid and frantic rate than in the first. It makes for much more cool sounding moments. It remains in ways similar to the original. At a certain verse though, they add what I can only describe as alien guitar sounds, which does sound pretty alright.
Something I might have actually forgot to mention while discussing the original version is that you are in a sense control of the beat here, in that when you shoot, you have to shoot kind of at the same time when the aliens come down, and the explosion noise is just so loud that it's basically part of the music at that point. And when you're not hitting it really on point, like exactly to the freaking beat, it kind of sounds a little sloppy. I mean, look at this. Yeah, it just doesn't sound that good, huh?
In relation to the original, I feel that this one is pretty much on par. They were thankfully able to still keep the magic going the second time around. Just like the first one, this deserves a 5 out of 5 Skodachos without the shadow of a doubt. Not unlike the original version, I didn't really recall this one upon revisiting. I really ended up liking this one too. Again, just like the original. And that feeling of enjoyment came much stronger for this version. Something about the way they do the drums here, it just really impacted me much more.
And the pattern of the rising and the sinking of these synchronized swimmers are much more fleshed out here. Sometimes it could be a bit too much, but most of the time it's matching up great to the music.
The beginning of this song to me gave me Donkey Kong vibes almost immediately. I've always sort of vibed well with most of the Donkey Kong songs, so it's no surprise to me that this song ended up in my good grace.
This one is nearly about the exact same length as the first, which is fine. I don't think there's a lot they could have gained from padding out the time for this one.
This one certainly earns itself a 4.7 out of 5 Skodachos.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Oh my freaking god. 5 out of 5. Freaking 5 out of 5. Oh my freaking god. This one is brilliant.
Can words even describe what a masterpiece this is? God, I hope so, cause otherwise I'm in a bad spot right now.
Munchy Monk 2. Boy, if it was possible to mate with songs, I'd be in prison by now. I don't know why I said that. It's kind of gross.
As if there weren't already a tremendous number of classics in Rhythm Heaven DS, we get ourselves a goddamn another one. I can't get enough of this minigame. It just does so much right. And it does so much better than the original in so many aspects. The theming, the concept, the music, Jesus Christ, the music. I'm almost positive they were aware of how good this song was just by the way they implemented these elephants and mice into the mix. Just look how they animate them here.
3,
Well, I guess there's no room for me here. They've got it completely covered. I'm just gonna go.
I'm so glad that this one lasts longer than the first too. It really would have been an injustice to have made this one any shorter. They just knew exactly what they were doing when creating this minigame. And yeah, some of you might already know how pissed I am that this didn't get included into Megamix. I mean, for crying out loud, man, how could you pass up such an opportunity? Who in their right mind prefers quiz show over this?
Well, let's not get into that now. I said it already and I'll say it again. 5 out of 5 Skodachos. This is a magnum opus in Rhythm Heaven DS.
And finally, we have Rockers 2. Very glad to see this one make a return as well. The sequel for Rockers feels much more realistic in the sense that everything is just more loud, much like a real rock concert.
They add some new, and I might add, frustrating mechanic here where you have to click the R button in the back in order to change the pitch of the guitar the same way as the other person does. It takes a lot of time to getting used to it, and trust me, very frustrating to actually pull off. By the way, this freaking always got me. What is this like thing that he does after every like strum that he goes like what is that? I don't know I can't do that. I want to sound exactly like him, but he's pulling some new freaking moves and I don't know how to do that.
I like the first one's style a bit more because it tends to go a bit more quiet sometimes, and that makes it feel much more effective as a song. Here, I guess it makes sense because it's kind of a finale or something, but the energies are always high, and it loses a bit of its charm having done this.
But that's not to say that the song is bad. The song is actually awesome. Like those parts where you have to change the pitch by pressing the R button in the back where it goes, Dee-oo! Like, it's difficult as it is to pull off. When you pull it off, it sounds great. Let's give Rockers 2 a 4.7 out of 5 scratchos. Well guys, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it here because if I had included everything else, this video would be way too long, and I just do not want to do that to you guys. Fear not though, there will be a part 2 and it will come out, and that one is going to include the remixes and everything else that I haven't talked about yet. But it has so far been an unimaginable amount of fun to rate these songs. It's always a lot of fun to talk about anything Rhythm Heaven. I'm just so passionate about it. And I promise not to keep you guys waiting too long this time. It's because I'm going into school, so I'm trying to transition into this whole trying to control my time and everything, but don't worry about that. The next one, it will come out sooner than later. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Please leave a like and a comment, subscribe. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are in the description. Link to my second channel, which is a gaming channel, is also in the description. I actually just came off a Shrek 2 for the PS2 gameplay with a friend of mine. Please go ahead and check it out. Remember to ding that dong so you can get notified all day long, just, you know, for when part 2 comes out. And if you guys didn't like this episode, don't worry, you can still leave a like, comment, subscribe, ding that dong all day long, and I will see you guys then!
Yeah, you told me the other day